The Radio Wammo Breakfast. Time to talk issues of the day, though, and we do it with T. Radar from the comfort of his lounge there. Good morning, T. Radar.
Good morning to you. Yes, comfortable on my lounge sofa, looking out and another sort of beautiful morning in Auckland. Blue skies, this kind of long Indian summer tail as we head into the grip of winter, which probably won't last all that long.
Not bad, eh? It's also this time of the year where I was out west late last night and travelling back into Auckland, and it's not fog, but it's mist. There's a definite mist at a certain time of night in the autumn.
Kind of romantic, isn't it?
Bit mysterious. Let's just...
Yeah. My romantic, you're mysterious. Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the essential difference between us, I suppose. I like that sort of sense of threatening mystery in my romance. Will he bury me in the fields of the outer Waitakere suburbs, or will he take me to dinner? I don't know.
But the excitement is palpable.
Exactly. Speaking about West, big celebration, I suspect, out West last night at South Pacific Pictures, the 20th sort of anniversary of Shortland Street. They had their hour-long episode on TV last night. Did you perchance witness that?
No, as I said, I was out west.
Neither did I.
Yeah.
But what I love about it was I was having a look. There was a review of it in the Herald this morning, and I went down to the comments because they're usually fairly interesting. And to me, New Zealand was summed up in this one pithy comment by a chap called Tom. He said, "Didn't see it. I know it was crap." I just went, "That is brilliant." That's the kind of attitude that Shortland Street's been fighting for 20 years, and in fact, pretty much anything on television in New Zealand. We're one of those people, as a nation, go, I've never seen it, but I know it's got to be appalling.
Must be crap.
To watch it.
Yeah, 20 years of effort, blood, sweat, and tears. 20 years of effort must be crap.
Absolutely, and you got to wonder whether some of that attitude isn't behind the sort of the demise of TVNZ7, where there's all this wonderful content on, but people would, I'm not going to watch it because it's probably going to be crap. It's public service broadcasting. How interesting can that be?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. That wraps up.
It's probably in some ways a bit similar to Kiwi. People go, New Zealand music.
Yeah, must be crap.
Must be. They're just going to be playing Slice of Heaven on repeat.
Yeah, yeah.
No, we left that to the CIA, Guantanamo, when they're trying to sort of extract confessions from people.
Yeah, been fighting that one for 6 years actually. And we've moved, from moving on from the original version of Kiwi, which actually was more like Slice of Heaven, to sort of more the new and alt, and now moved on to now including international music. But you'll still come across people. I know that Exponents and Slice of Heaven, 24/7 feelers,
That's madness, and as I say, there's nothing like driving along and just flicking on the radio and going, "Whoa, who is this?"
Yeah.
I like it.
I'm with you on that. But you were talking
business.
about streets, weren't you? And
yes, it was.
Yeah, and on to Queen Street.
A bit of a hoo-ha. I had the misfortune to be on Queen Street on Saturday night again, and it's a shambles. Yeah, and there's been a sort of, the fact that there's sort of drunk and intoxication, and people are, trying to head to work, and there's still drunk people out there, and there's a couple of sort of security guards mooching about, and I saw a couple of police there, but just the sort of the hordes of these young people, and it wasn't a warm night, and it sort of reminded me a little bit of, when you go to places like Scotland, a cold night and girls in skirts that are too short, or indeed girls who appear to have forgotten to put their skirts on at all, and you kind of think, here it is, you got tourists coming in town, and I don't think I'm a fuddy-duddy when you think here's what's supposed to be the premier street in Auckland, and it's a drunken orgy, an orgiastic and violent shambles.
If you say, I don't think I'm a fuddy-duddy, you are a fuddy-duddy.
I'm a fuddy-duddy simply because I use that word.
Yeah, because who uses that word?
Who uses that word? Look, I tell you what, the best. There's been some wonderful words I've heard recently, and the best sort of word I heard used in context was darned. I hosted a design conference, and there was this wonderful young woman from America who's sort of a graphic designer, and she said something along the lines of, you can darned well find inspiration anywhere, and she was just so cute and so wholesome. I thought, oh, that is nice.
Oh, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, back to Queen Street. Okay, so do you think it's gotten worse? Because that's what people are saying.
No, I think it's sort of got progressively worse. You know, you've got all those bars, I guess, down the bottom, the Britomart complex, which is fantastic, the whole area, you know, and then along to the Wynyard Quarter, there's some really great things. But then you've got I guess it probably hasn't got any worse. It's probably just that you when you do go there, you realise just how bad it can be.
But you're progressively, probably over the years, less drunk than those people on the street, so therefore you're noticing it a little bit more.
Like an idiot savant, Wammo.
Yeah.
And that, I suspect you probably are right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. As we get older and the more we sort of sober up, you know, and become responsible drinkers, the more we realise what imbeciles we probably were when we were younger.
That's correct. You just mentioned the semi-permanent conference. Anything else here that really stood out to you that was really interesting?
Yeah, it's essentially it's a sort of a design conference, and they've got everyone from you know, Industrial Light and Magic speakers, and they had Ron English, who does the wonderful sort of artwork. But there was a guy presenting from Wallpaper magazine, and you know, we're always talking about, you know, what's the future of media and where's media going, and he had this wonderful sort of presentation on Wallpaper, which is a pretty hip magazine, you know, at the best of times. You know, and people are saying, oh, you know, print is dead, and what's the future of print? Well, you know, they have the ability with some of their issues to actually individualize the covers. If you're on their subscription list, you can go in and you can play around with a certain set of parameters, and your cover will be individually printed in this huge run of magazines and sent to you.
That's cool.
And then looking at tying up all of that content with you know, with their online platform, and just it's absolutely fascinating. And you sort of look at that and think, oh, I can't imagine that too many New Zealand magazines have the budget to be able to do that sort of thing. But it's absolutely astounding. And maybe it's actually one of the first times I've wanted to go, wow, I've really got to go out and get an iPad and get up with technology, because you really feel as if you're actually missing out on something kind of special.
That's really that is interesting, and I still feel that disconnect between digital content, as in written digital content, and an actual magazine. You know, even though we have things like, you know, iPads or Android tablets and whatnot, I still find that I'd prefer to read a magazine, and I just wonder how far Wallpaper have taken that concept of creating your own magazine, whether or not you can go onto their website, select all the articles from that month that you want to be included in your magazine from a whole bunch, and then get the whole magazine printed and then sent to you.
I suspect that would probably be the next step, I would imagine. You know, they may do a one-off, they could, it's just extrapolating, they, you know, a one-off special at the end of the year where your compilation of the best of Wallpaper. You know, I'm sure that within a short period of time we will get to that sort of level, you know, and this wonderful interface between digital and print, and to what they were sort of saying was that, you know, it's not something different, but it's an add-on. So, you know, all the things that they've got in the magazine, it's very much tied into that online thing, but it just takes them up another level. So you know, and it's regardless, content will still be king. You know, that was the lesson from the weekend. That and this wonderful sense, we don't have enough pranksters in New Zealand was the other thing that we got. You know, Ron English, who he's an incredible artist. People would have seen his work. He does the Fat Ronald McDonald. He did the Obama Lincoln sort of mash-up painting that became one of the images for Obama. And you know, we were sort of sitting there, and he does a lot of billboard pranks where they go out and they've got I think it's called the Liberate Billboard Foundation or something like that, and they go out and they essentially put billboards on top of billboards. And I said, oh, you know, that must be quite expensive. You know, he says, you know, quite time consuming. He goes, well, after the first 1,000, you know, we pretty much got what sorry, what? You know, just the sort of, you get the extent of how much these people are actually doing, and you never really hear all that much about it down here in little old New Zealand. So, you know, it'd be nice in some ways to have a little bit more of that going on, but I guess, you know, they can afford it because he'd be one of the top selling artists in America. You know, so his work's worth a fortune, and they can afford to go out and put up 1,000 billboards. So a little bit more of that, and finally, T Radar, a little bit less of talk of confining cats or keeping cats inside. I know. You know, we were talking just before we went on air, and you said this is one of those stories of the decade. It comes up every 10 years or so. And cat lovers, you're a cat fancier?
I am an avid cat fancier. Not ashamed to say so.
No, you always run that sort of gamut of lovely cat, tends to kill things, particularly little sort of invertebrates and lizards and birds and things like that. So now in Hamilton, the SPCA has mooted the idea of a curfew on cats. Cats have to stay inside between sort of the hours of darkness as a way to stop them from being injured, run over, getting cat AIDS, all of those other things that can happen to cats that prowl around at night. So there's a bit of hoo-ha about that. And then down in Invercargill, they're even looking at limiting the number of cats that people can have because they've got a bit of a cat explosion.
An explosion, if you will, not an
explosion of cats.
Right.
There must be an actual term for that. Some kind of a furball rather than a fireball, I would imagine. So cat lovers will be probably up in arms, but I don't think they will be, actually. I think responsible cat lovers will be there, but it's nice to know that in New Zealand these are the big issues.
Yeah.
You've got your conflicts overseas and all of this kind of thing. You've got coups, and you've got sort of the media falling apart over in the UK. And in New Zealand, I think cats should stay inside at night.
Yeah.
I love this country.
Yeah, so do I. Thanks very much, T Radar.
We'll speak again in a couple of weeks.
2 weeks, yes. T Radar.